What's up, everybody? It is Sean. It is Lee. We are back here, Week 7 NFL, and we're here to talk about some DFS stacking, help you build a better lineup. Lee, how are we doing?
Oh, we're doing just fantastic. Made a little bit of money off that Thursday night game while, reading that DFS article, man. Ooh, some great plays that you had in there. Look forward to what you're bringing this weekend, man.
Cheap Jarvis Landry. Can't beat it, man. Peppered with targets. He sure was. And Dearness Johnson, too cheap between the two of them. You spent $11,000. You had something like $37,000 left to play with it. And if you didn't captain either of them, it was impossible not to make money if you didn't play those two guys. You know what I mean? Yeah, anyway, not the point. The point is for us to try and help everyone else make money, try and figure out what's going on. We're talking about Week 7. We're talking about some DraftKings plays. What we want to do is incorporate value into the stack, so we're not just trying to jam in every single high-priced thing and then get left with a bunch of players that, pretty much are just going to be sucking on their thumbs on the sidelines. What we want to do is try and find the value plays, stack with the great plays, and maybe double stack a little bit, that type of stuff, gain some leverage. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yep, absolutely. And with stacking, you really starts with the quarterbacks, and who we're going to be, stacking those quarterbacks with, and we have some of the top quarterbacks, in the NFL on the slate this week to choose from, with some of the best weapons out there with some great values, to stack with those weapons, if we talked about it on our last show. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we can fit some of these stacks into lineups. And like you said, fill out the rest of those lineups with guys who are going to give us opportunities to really cash in on that. So by all means, take it away, homie. Who are you starting with?
So I'm actually going to start with my friend and yours, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Lamar is in this matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's $7,400. He is not the most expensive. He's not the least expensive. But I think this is going to be a sneaky shootout game, number one. The Baltimore Ravens look great on defense, but Cincinnati has just found a way, you know what I mean, throughout this season. Yeah. I think it's going to be a sneaky game. Now, the way I'm going to attack this, I know the easy thing is plug Mark Andrews in. We talked about him on the value show. He's in a great spot, and I understand that. But I actually want to try and use this as the secondary stack to a primary stack I'd build later. And I'll explain exactly why, because I'm not too sure who I'm going to run this back with just yet. But the guy that I'm going to stack Lamar with, he made his debut this past week. Where is he here? Bateman. B-A-T-E. Yeah, B-A-T-E. Bateman. There he is. Rashad Bateman. At $3,400, I think he's an excellent stack. He had some fine targets this past weekend. Didn't connect on everything. We understand that. He just got back on the field, first game on the field, actually. But now in the second game, second full week of practice, I think Rashad Bateman might have a great opportunity to capitalize on what he started. But at $3,400, that stack right there, look at that. I'm left with $40,000 to play with. And, like we were talking about with DSTs, with defenses, one of the guys that I was looking at the other day, right here at $2,500, the Giants.
Right.
We plugged them in. I'm at $36,000. Now, what if I use another now that I think about it, another value play we talked about the other day in a guy that I like. I didn't think if you really cared for it, but CJ Uzama at tight end, $3,000. Now I still have $33,000 to play with. So now I'm going to plug in. Let's go to running back. Who else can I play in this lineup here at $3,300? Let's see. Well, how about King Henry?
King, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And because I have so much money left over, I'm going to come in here and stack him with Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I got 15,000 left in there. I got a running back position, a wide receiver position, a flex position. I know I could fit in. Let's see here. This guy, one of my favorite guys, Daryl Henderson here. I know I could fit in if I wanted to. Calvin Ridley. I still have 2,700 to play with the flex. It's a perfect way to use a tight end or something else. But, I mean, look at this lineup. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Daryl Henderson, Tyreek Hill, CJ, Calvin Ridley. You know what I mean? That's stud after stud after stud. But I'm using value to my advantage to build this lineup, and I'm still getting a stellar play with Lamar Jackson at quarterback and a stack with them. So that's just a simple way that I can see it. Who are you starting off with? Who's your guy? And we can try and build around him.
I mean, I'm going to start with Aaron Rodgers this week, as I think this is going to be a big Aaron Rodgers week coming off of his "I own you," testament. Going to another, coming back home, with a terrible Washington defense coming in. This is going to be the week I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to connect on a big game. Big game time.
So I like it.
So how do you fit the highest priced wide receiver and the second or third, highest priced quarterback, in with the rest of your lineup? And for me, I'm going to go to somebody we talked about in the value show, on the take back, J.D. McKissick at running back at 5,000.
Yep, like it.
So that's going to give me, it's going to stretch my money out, for the rest of the players I have. Another guy we talked about on the value show, another one of Aaron Rodgers' pass catchers, Big Bob Tonyan at 3,500.
Okay.
Locking up my tight end position, hopefully catching a touchdown from Aaron Rodgers there, getting, the whole point of stacking, with those guys. But doing that.
Hold on.
All right, I'll let you catch up.
I know. Why? What's going on here with DraftKings? It's like it keeps going. Tanyan. Here we go. Tanyan. Like an onion. Okay. Yep.
All right. I'm with you. There you go.
Yep.
So leaves me with 25 grand, a little over $5,000 per player. So for that, I'm going to go to another player under $5,000. We talked about Jamison Crowder at 4,900.
Cool.
And that's going to allow me to get somebody like Deandre Swift in my lineup. Man, you haven't really smelling today, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a new computer, so give me a break.
That's okay.
I'm with you.
You sound great on this new computer, I'll tell you that.
Well, I didn't go for quality of keyboard. I went for quality of voice, I guess. So
DeAndre Swift, a lot of passing game work. They're obviously going to be down in that game against the Rams. So, bunch of passing games. And you look at my running backs there, you got two guys who could be looking at double-digit targets. We go into the defense. I love your play of the Giants defense against Sam Darnold this week at 2,500. That's going to stretch me out a little bit so that I can, get a little bit more in my lineup. There you go, almost $6,000, per player. I mean, I could go to Daryl Henderson, that you're talking about there. Love that pick, 6,600.
Yep.
And then at a wide receiver with 5,100 left. I mean, I could play my boy Allen Robinson if I wanted to.
Yes, if you wanted to. You could also play AJ Green, though.
But I could play AJ Green, right?
You could play T. Higgins.
Right.
You could play Hunter Renfro. You could
look at all this different value that you could fit in while having all of these guys who are going to be heavily involved in the offense. I mean,
here's a guy this is a little bit secondary stack. Kendrick Bourne right there at 4,400. You got Jamison Crowder in there, so you got a little secondary stack you could do. Sure. Can I suggest one thing though?
What's that?
Because when you got to this point right here, right, and you were looking at 11-7 left, and you needed a wide receiver and a flex. The first guy I thought of wait a minute, where are we? Yeah, the first guy I thought of was this guy,
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because you got DeAndre Swift there just hanging out, right?
Okay.
In order for DeAndre Swift to really have the game that he needs to have, this guy, Cooper Kupp, has got to have the game that we expect him to have.
Sure.
Okay. Now, I would have put him, I don't know why DraftKings did that. I would have actually put him in the wide receiver spot because he's a wide receiver. but DraftKings has a mind of its own.
I think you had to
see if they.
There
we go. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
DraftKings, thank you for helping out the show so much with your technology. Okay, now so we're gonna come down here to 3,300. Who can we look at 3,300 to fit it? But you look at some of these names. You got Fursker, Humphreys, all these guys you don't want to play, right? Westbrook Ekine, he had a good game the other night, and now he's playing Kansas City. He's probably going to get targeted. Byron Pringle, maybe my guy Tyreek Hill, he's sitting. Next thing you know, Byron Pringle, he's back being relevant.
Danny Amendola.
Danny Amendola, 3,000 buckets. The Amendola, right? My point is that if I'm going to play a Deandre Swift, right, I am playing him under the guys that most likely the Detroit Lions are going to be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing DeAndre Swift. Well, how are they going to get behind? I want a Cooper Kupp there in my lineup to say, like, I'm going to double the points in this little stack. You know what I mean?
So you went with Cooper Kupp. I went with Daryl Henderson. You did in that lineup before that. I went with.
You could also go.
You could play my running backs against Detroit. You know.
Yeah, you could, and you could also go Bobby Trees, right?
Go Bobby Trees as well. Yeah,
right absolutely. At $6,400, and now you're left with 5,300 buckets in the flex. So, great way. I love it. I love that you took Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and you asked that question: what can I do with the most expensive? One of the most expensive quarterbacks and the most expensive wide receivers. What kind of lineup I built? I love the lineup. I love the concept of running it back with J.D. McKissick. Exactly what we were just talking about. You're playing McKissick under the guys that Washington's going to be playing from behind. He's going to be catching passes in the flat. He's going to be going out in the field. Just really well thought out, man. Really nice job.
Thank you.
Yep. So I also wanted to touch on what to do with Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
Now, the thing about Patrick Mahomes is I think, and this is a theory of mine, okay? But I think the reason why Patrick Mahomes is consistently under-owned, and he really is, you never ever see Patrick Mahomes as the most, unless you're in a showdown. You're never going to see Patrick Mahomes on a Sunday slate with 10 games. It's very rare to see Patrick Mahomes as one of the most popular quarterbacks. Part of it is because he's so expensive, but the other part is that I think there's actually a thought that people have that they're like, he's going to be popular.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's not. So I love playing Patrick Mahomes. I love playing Patrick Mahomes in matchups with guys like Derrick Henry on the other side of it. And this, to me, is the way to stack Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'll tell you why. You're going to want to play Travis Kelsey. Sure. You're going to want to play Tyreek Hill. Sure. But everybody's going to be playing Travis Kelsey and Tyreek Hill individually. People are also going to do this stack, but they're going to try and run it back with another Chiefs player. What if you just did this and you were left with 46-28? Now, you're getting Patrick Mahomes, more than likely going to be the highest scoring quarterback. You got Derrick Henry in that matchup, every opportunity to be the highest scoring running back. And then you stopped with this stack. With 4,600, what would you do next?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, I'd probably go to the value after that and start, hitting some of the other games and, guys who I think could pop off. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can really put much else in that game. From there, outside of maybe, some of the second tier pass catchers. On the Chester Rodgers or the Adina Westbrooks or maybe a Mecole Hardman. That's really it. I don't think you can stack the rest of these guys with the studs, or at least both of them. With the Tyreek Hill, with the Travis Kelsey, as well. So maybe I'm stacking different games with them.
Yes, that is definitely going to be a piece of this. Is you're going to want to try and get a secondary stack in here. But the first place I'm going to go to try and save up, because when you put these two players in there, you see you only have 46-28 in there. You got to save up, right? You got to go DST.
Gotcha.
You go DST. Lock that in. Why? Because your average price is going to go up. We've been talking a lot about the Giants. Let's talk about the Jets. what the fuck, right? Like, because the reality is the Patriots don't look great, okay? And the Jets love to play spoiler. So I'm going to throw the Jets in there at 2,400. All of a sudden, look at what happened to my average remaining salary. That 46.28 looked ugly. That $5,000 looks a lot better.
Sure does.
All right. So now the next place I'm going to go is tight end. Why? Because tight end, yes, Travis Kelsey is here. We talked about him on the value show, $7,600. I mean, for Christ's sakes, you got to play Travis Kelsey under $8,000. You got to do it. But here's the thing. Look at how fast it drops off. Okay. 7,600 for Kelsey. Waller's 6,700. Andrews is 6,000. Kyle Pitts is 5,900. Next thing you know, you come down. You got some tight ends that you know you want to play if they're going to be in. TJ Hawkinson, Rob Gronkowski, Mike Gesicki. All these guys are under $5,500, but they're in our price range right now because we have average remaining of 5,000.
Right.
So I'm going to go to a spot that I think is going to be interesting. You brought him up actually on the value show, and that's Zach Ertz. Why? I want to attack the Houston, Arizona game. But a lot of people are going to be looking at the running backs, the Houston of Arizona, James Conner, Chase Edmonds. I think a lot of people are going to be playing DeAndre Hopkins, obviously. Great play against Houston, his old team, revenge narrative, that whole nonsense, right? We also got the Kyler, of course, but we got Mahomes in this lineup. So I'm going to take Zach Ertz. I'm going to take the chance that he gets out there on the field. He's immediately there. But that being said, $3,900, great value. Now we're at 52.20. All right. I'm going to try and fill my flex with saving up some more. We're going to come down in here. DraftKings playing along nicely. Here we go. I'm going to come down here to a guy we just touched on. Oh, no, I don't think we actually talked about him. Oh, yeah, we did talk about him. I'm going to now stack Mahomes with Mecole Hardman at 4,300. Okay, now why am I putting him in the flex? Because I want to try and get stud all the way up there. Make my lineup look stronger. Now, listen, Mecole Hardman may or may not have a good game, but that's why I'm going to take a chance on him at $4,300, save a couple buckets. All right, so now let me ask you a question. Earlier, we had Mahomes and Henry in there, and you were like, well, we got to immediately go to value. Now you're looking at $5,400 average player salary. How does this look? It looks a little bit better for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now you're looking at playing, players who are high snap percentage players. You're not getting those guys who are playing under 50% snaps anymore. So yeah, absolutely. You molded you molded those stats your way,
Yeah. Hey, look at who's here at 5,300. Your man, right. Myles Gaskin. Yep. Do you recall we have a bet going?
Oh, we do.
That bet is, to reiterate, if you didn't watch the value show, it's a fun bet. The bet is Jared Goff completes more passes than Myles Gaskin has total touches in this game against Atlanta. That's the bet. Double or nothing on a Millie Maker ticket that my man Lee here owes me. Okay. So what do you think? Should we go with Myles Gaskin? We could save a couple bucks there. Who else is here? Here's another guy. Undervalued. Miles Sanders at 5,100 against the Raiders. But my point is that we don't even. Here's another guy we talked about, Ramondre Stevenson, and we're playing the Jets defense, kind of defeats the purpose. But let's say, for the sake of argument, let's attack this secondary stack. Let's attack this this Atlanta Miami game and go with Myles Gaskin. Where'd he go? There he is, the gas man. All right, going to lock Myles Gaskin in. Why? We're at 5,500. I'm going to spend up just a touch, just a tick here, right? I'm going to use some of my cash. It's the guy I've been hammering since the value show. Now we have a double stack of the Atlanta-Miami game. We're back to under $5,000. We got to figure out another way to save some money. But I love that price on Calvin Ridley. I can't ignore it.
I can't argue it either. I mean, that the lineup looks great. You got a lot of touchdown potential there. A lot of guys with a lot of target share too. Calvin Ridley is gonna, he's gonna come back to to form this week.
Yep. I was looking at Jalen Waddle. I was hoping that he would be cheaper. I couldn't remember what he was there. All right, so let's see. We got 49.50. Where else do you want to go? Is there another game you want to look at? We can take a look at games. What do you think? Finish this lineup even with one more play.
Let's see. You've got Hunter Renfrow there at 4,800. We've got Tyler Boyd at 4,700. Your boy Kendrick Bourne at 44, Alan Lazard at 42. You got some pass catchers, you can really gravitate towards. Russell Gage on the, coming back. We talked about him at 4,000 if you wanted to, really go down. Another pass catcher in Kansas City if you wanted to replace Mecole Hardman and save a little bit more money. You got DeMarcus Robinson out there. Rashard Bateman, you talked about him in your other lineup at 3,400. That could help you, save a little money and get yourself a higher priced wide receiver in there. To me, I'd probably look at one of the more value plays so that I can get another guaranteed, point getter at wide receiver for me there.
Yep. What's interesting? I actually, I kind of like this idea of double stacking Atlanta receivers.
Okay.
And seeing what happens. Now we're at $5,900 with Russell Gage. Who can we afford for $5,900 in wide receiver? How about Chris Godwin? How about Marquise Hollywood Brown, 5,800?
How about you can get Jalen Waddle now?
Jalen Waddle we could fit in. Now we're gonna completely destroy this Miami Atlanta game here. But my point, I think that the fun thing here, the exercise I tried to do here, was show you can play Patrick Mahomes, the most expensive quarterback, Derrick Henry at $9,200, and still end up with a lineup that maybe you're going to tweak it a little bit before you hit submit, but right now it's looking pretty decent. We both agreed the other night that the Atlanta-Miami game is kind of a sleeper, high-scoring game. So attacking that I like a lot. I think the Zach Ertz call is pretty cool. You know what I mean? I think this is not a bad lineup, and certainly if I'm going to be mass multi-entering, this is a lineup I could see myself putting in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's filled with value. You got your studs on the top who could end up being your top two scoring players. You got Calvin Ridley who could be your top scoring wide receiver. I love the play. It's a way to stack the studs of the week.
Yeah. All right, man. But I've taken up a lot of time. Let's take another stab. Who else do you like this weekend you want to build around?
Let's see. One other guy I'm probably going to want to take a shot at is Ryan Tannehill. We talked about this game being high scoring, and Ryan Tannehill and AJ Brown come in at pretty moderate prices. So it's a pretty decent way to start a stack that you could, you're probably going to fill a lot of studs around them as well. If you wanted to get Derrick Henry in this game, great. If you think Kansas City's going to stack the box and going to be the first team to stop Derrick Henry, maybe you stay away from Derrick Henry at 9,200. Sure. Let's build around that. Maybe we take Tyreek Hill, on the back end of that, at 8,600. And that allows us to, really have a great starting point at our wide receivers. And we talk about, like you said, going back to the defense, to save some of that price so we can, kind of adjust that number. I love that idea. For that, we're going to, let's see. We're going to pay.
You have 47.83. You have more than I had.
I do. Which is why I'm going to pay up a little bit. I'm going to go to the Arizona defense.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
At 3,100, so it's still saving me money, but it's but it's paying up a little bit on that defensive front. Going to the tight end position, this is a way we want to show Travis Kelsey in a lineup here, right?
Yeah.
This is 7,600. We put him in our lineup there. Leaves us with 4,500 to look for running backs, a wide receiver, and a flex, which I think is very, very doable. If we go to our, our wide receivers, we go to our running backs, Personally, I'd like to take the value shot more on a wide receiver than I do on a running back. Running backs, one of those opportunities where you can get some bell cows. We talked about Joe Mixon, 6,500 there. He's going to be, he's going to be getting all the touches. For the second running back, maybe we come down a little bit. Let's see.
Well, we're gonna have to. We're at 3,800.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Is right.
So what I might do here, just if I might step in,
I'm gonna tweak it.
Yeah, well, you could tweak it, or you could look in your wide receivers and try and take some dart throws here. For instance, Van Jefferson against Detroit had a down game last week, but we know he's a deep threat, right? He's only 3,500. We keep going. Here's the guy I played in my Lamar lineup, Bateman, right? We know he's going to be involved. He's only 3,400. Deshaun Jackson in the Rams game, they love taking shots at Deshaun. Maybe he hits one. So this is where I might look to try and find some upside value plays. You mentioned Danny Amendola. Let's plug him in and see what happens. $3,000 for Danny Amendola. Right, he's coming back. He's going to be in a competitive game against the Cardinals. Yeah, you have the Cardinals defense. So what? They're probably gonna kill Davis Mills. Danny Amendola catches 3 balls and one's him a touchdown. He still gets there despite the Cardinals defense. Right. Yep. Okay, so now we're saving up to 4,250. Now let's go to flex and let's stay in the same area here. We're still going to come to 4,250. We're going to come back down. I still love that Rashard Bateman play at 3,400. I love the Van Jefferson play there. But maybe you want to go a little bit different. Maybe you want to stack. You got Tennessee and KC. Maybe there's another game here. Maybe there's another way to do it. You got Josh Gordon for Kansas City. You got Adam Humphries in that Washington Green Bay game. Sure. My point is that you can now you're looking at it. And you're saying, okay, listen, I love this. I love this stack right here. Right now you're playing Kelsey. Maybe you take Kelsey up, maybe you don't. But my point is that now you got to start looking at where can I go even cheaper than my average player cost, so then I can get one more stud up here or one more stud down there. That's all I was trying to say.
No, absolutely.
So I didn't mean to hijack.
No, you're right. You're absolutely correct. And as I was looking through, and I'm certainly thinking to myself. Playing a tight end in the flex position is a way, to certainly save some money there. We talked a little bit about, about Bob Tonyan at 3,500. We've got even, your boy Fursker, if you wanted to stack him with Tannehill in this game at 3,100, that'll save you, some money there and help you get,
What about this guy, Tremble? If I'm not mistaken, he's got a couple of touchdowns, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah. Against the Giants defense. I wouldn't mind that as well. 2,700 certainly is the way, to save some money.
Jonnu Smith in that Jets game. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, but I mean, some of the crazy thing with tight ends, you go real cheap on tight ends.
Sure.
I wish they would get this guy Quessenberry involved just so we could hear his name said. Quessenberry. It's Quessenberry.
So, with the 5,800 that you have left over, if you fill in, if you, let's say you take Tremble, to 2,700, at the flex to really save some money. Another stack opportunity is presented to us with the 5,800 for a running back, and that leaves us with Mr. Darrell Williams.
Nice. Very nice. I like that.
And I like that there's a lot. There's a lineup there for you filled out.
Perfect, man. Yeah, I mean, you're taking your risks. What I really like about this lineup, though, if you look at it, is you're taking your risks on Amendola and Tremble. Okay, and Amendola, I think, is not as much of a risk as $3,000 suggests.
Right,
they're going to be playing catch up. He's finally back on the field. He's an excellent route runner. I think he could be involved. I think he could take away some of the targets for some of the other guys down there, maybe even open things up for Brandon Cooks. I like that. So really, to me, you're only taking a risk on Tremble. But you got Kelsey, you got Hill, you got A.J. Brown, you got Joe Mixon, you got Tannehill, and you got Darrell Williams, which, of course, they end up on the end zone. He runs in a couple touchdowns. Next thing you know, he gets there. I really like this lineup, man. Nice job.
No, thanks for the help, sir. Thanks for helping me get there.
No problem, man. All right, so I got one more to do, and then we can kind of get out of here, guys. Listen, if you are watching this video, throw in the comments your the stacks that you like this weekend, and we'll talk about it. We're still trying to get a DraftKings contest up and running. We just need some more views, some more likes, so we can understand that people want to play against us. I think it's silly. We'll kill you, but that doesn't matter. We just want you to be happy. So that just things to keep in mind as we move along. So the last one I wanted to bring up, I think, is going to be a really under-owned stack, underlooked stack, or overlooked. Overlooked stack.
Overlooked.
Yeah, is Brady against Chicago. Right now, the reason why I think Brady against Chicago is going to be overlooked is that people, number one, don't want to play Tom Brady, but number two, I just think that people think this game is going to be a lot lower scoring than it actually is going to be. Now, the one thing I think is interesting about this and why I want to bring this up is that Antonio Brown is questionable. Why is Antonio Brown questionable? Well, I said it a couple times, 3, 4, how many weeks are we in? Week 7? I said it every week that the Buccaneers have played. You can start your stacks with Tom Brady and Antonio Brown and then build from there. And it's just proven week after week after week. It doesn't matter if Mike Evans has a bad game. It doesn't matter if Chris Godwin has a bad game. Brown has a great game. It doesn't matter if Gronk's in the lineup or not. Brown has a great game. Now with Antonio Brown possibly sitting, that's where all of a sudden it presents the opportunity to come in here and get a Chris Godwin whose price has dropped continually. And now you have Tom Brady and Chris Godwin in there. If you want to double stack them with Mike Evans, by all means. Now you're playing Chris Godwin only because Antonio Brown potentially could sit. If Antonio Brown plays, we're going to move Chris Godwin out. We're going to put Antonio Brown in there. But because we have the chance that Brown sits, you got Godwin in there at a low price, $5,900, double stacked with Mike Evans. Now, who do you play in Chicago? Who could possibly play against Tom Brady in Chicago? Well, I bring this up because I want you to now answer the question for me. Who on the Chicago roster would you run this stack back with?
Now, I feel like you want me to say. I feel like you want me to say Khalif Herbert.
Yeah, that's definitely the player I wanted you to say.
I feel like it's who you want me to say, but I mean, I hate playing running backs against Tampa defense. But I understand what you're saying.
If the answer was Darnell Mooney at $4,600, then you would have gotten it right. Because let me show you something here, very interesting. When you stack Brady, Godwin, and Evans together on this, you have $4,983 left as a salary. Now you come in here and you put Darnell Mooney at $4,600. Yes, he's questionable. He may not play, but let's just play along as if he's gonna. You're all of a sudden back up to $5,000, and now you have the more likely, all due respect to Allen Robinson, the more likely target hog on the Chicago offense, stacked up in a game that we know they're probably going to be playing from behind. Right now, we do what I do. I come over the DSTs. I love that Cardinals defense, but I got to go cheaper here because I got bigger plans on this. I'm going to go like this. How many interceptions did Mahomes throw a game?
He's got to pick every basically won a game this year, right?
Right. $2,100 Titans defense. Yeah, it's a risk, but listen, fumbles, interceptions, sacks, they all count for points. All right, so now we're going to come back up. We have 5,800 buckets left. We're going to go where? To tight end. Why? Because tight ends, I don't know why, they're cheap. Right? I'm not going to go with Zach Ertz again. That would be cheating. We've already seen that happen. Maybe I could go Ricky Seals-Jones against Green Bay. I'm never going to play Evan Ingram again, ever.
He just made the list?
He just made the list. My friend, he just made the list. No, I'm not going to go Tommy Terrible down there either. I'm actually going to look at Ricky Seals-Jones here, $3,700. Whoa, look at that average player cost.
Yeah, $6,500. Whew.
That's hot.
Territory there.
Now that's hot. You know why? You know why? Because these two guys, we talked about them in the value show, and they're right here, right now. 6,600 Henderson, 6,500 Mixon.
Love it.
And I got $6,400 left. Man, I was so close, but I'm gonna do something here that's gonna be crazy.
Ridley. You want Calvin Ridley, don't you?
I want him bad. I want him bad.
Go big Bob Tanyan.
You cannot you cannot get away from $6,600 Calvin Ridley against the terrible Miami Dolphins. I have $3,500 left for a tight end. Who can I get? Bobby Tanyan?
Big Bob.
Could I do Bobby Tanyan here?
Cole Kmet?
No, you can't play Cole Kmet ever. No, that idea is kind of like having a warm Coors Light. They're always got to be Rocky Mountain cold, and you don't play Cole Kmet in the tournament. No.
Okay.
No, I think I gotta stay with my friend. Yeah, your friend and mine, CJ Uzama. I just have too much of a feeling in this Baltimore game. It does give me $500. If I wanted to upgrade the Titans, I can. We have our friends, the Giants, in that range. We've already talked about that value right here. So we'll plug them in and done. Tom Brady, Daryl Henderson, Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley on this lineup. We're taking a chance on Uzama. Yeah. We're taking a chance on Mooney. Somewhat. Definitely a chance on the Giants. But this is a way to take Tom Brady and make him put him in a lineup that has tons of upside without breaking the bank. And that's stacking 101 right there.
I loved it. What a lesson.
Awesome. Oh, thanks. Thanks so much. All right. So listen, we got big articles coming out. It's going to come out about week 7. Talk more about values, talk more about stacks. We'll talk about some ownership and some leverage in there. There's going to be tons of leverage because there's going to be a ton of ownership on certain games and ones that are being overlooked. I can tell you right now, early look at ownership, attack that Atlanta-Miami game to get some leverage. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and nobody's really playing it, which is crazy. But we'll touch on that later this weekend. So Lee, what do you want to say to the people before we sign off on this DFS Stacks episode?
# make that money.
That's right, man. Make that money. Good luck in your contest. RealDealFantasyHQ.com. Check it out this weekend. Thanks.